Ah, look at how cool.
In this episode, we prep our single car garage for a major body off and engine out job.
Look what we ordered. Oh, look at that. How nice.
We have a lot of cardboard for putting it under the car when it has an oil leak.
Instructions. I know exactly who's not gonna read them.
Yeah, let's just throw them away. Don't need. Who needs instructions for a toolbox?
It actually costs a lot of money. Oh, I hope nobody comes into our driveway now.
This is like you're unwrapping some sort of a kitchen. Look at that. This is real wood.
Oh, that looks better than in my kitchen.
Beautiful.
Ah, look at how cool.
This is really nice.
Yeah, we earned that.
Instructions out of the book. Now, all we're gonna say, it's made in Austria. Not this one either.
Oh my God.
Ah, here. Oh wow, there is foam inside already.
Oh shit.
That's nice. Look at this one.
And it smells so nice. Doesn't smell cheap Chinese. You can smell its heritage.
Yeah, if you can't smell it, it's not made in China.
Exactly. Nice stainless steel handles.
Everything is done with rivet nuts. Good M6 and not some self-tappers like the Chinese would have done it.
Yeah. Good thing it already has wheels on.
Yeah, the wheels
Rollers.
are already on.
Okay. Now I'll take my side. Yes.
Should I do it?
Yes.
Oh, your side's heavier.
Oh, thank God. I thought Christian is stronger than me. Whoa. Good.
Ooh, look at that. There are more pieces here. Those got to be the rear wall braces.
Oh.
The whole thing was 799 euros. As you see it here, it's going to still get the rear wall onto it. And the shipping out of Austria was nearly 200 euros.
Yeah.
And that is way, way better than this Chinese Amazon crap. Look at the texture of this, how this is painted. The corners are rounded here. There are no sharp corners whatsoever. Look at these trays.
That's where my copper paste is going.
And then we wheel it to the garage.
Yes, without hitting our cars. That is nice. Use a soft, clean cloth that will not scratch the surface when dusting. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Using solvents of any kind on your product may damage the finish. That's for sure gonna happen.
Okay, now we're gonna get rid of our workbench here, which is actually a table out of a beer zelt. Okay.
Oh my God.
Holy cow, that is so nice. Like this? That's incredible. Look at that. Yeah. We're gonna take now all the tools we have and we put it into this workbench, and I bet we're not even gonna be able to fill it up
and I
by
bet
half.
That might end up in a divorce.
Divorce might be too much, but I think it may end up
on the couch.
exactly. It might be ending up that somebody has to sleep on the couch, which is usually Vera. Then I got my own remote control in the bedroom. And it's not very deep, okay? It's just as deep as a regular toolbox,
yes,
but it's a workbench.
Remember, once the engine is rebuilt, the queen has to fit in here again. That's what we have to consider.
Yeah, and it got the ball bearing drawers, and it's just very nice looking. Here you are. I was looking for you. What are you doing? Oh, you got a lot of progress here. Look at that. This is incredible. It's like it's been here for years. And this is the stuff you still got left over.
That's the stuff I cannot...
Okay. So she did all this by herself. This is really incredible, I think.
Yeah.
Very good job. And I can come out here now and complain. We don't use much more than what you're gonna see now in this video. Okay, except the lathe and the milling machine and, you know, the welder. And out here in this garage, that's really all we use. What you see here.
Up here are my either most used tools, my hard to find tools, or my tools I need in a hurry when we have a disaster. You need a sledgehammer. Yeah.
In a Discovery world, this is a bad day hammer.
Exactly.
Okay?
Here are the tiny ones, the 8mm.
These tools you see here are most used. Mainly the 8mm and the 10mm straight ratchety wrench. Then our really tiny, smallest ever found ratchet. It's from Connex, okay? Then we got this lifter. We call it the red tool.
Yeah.
We got the small needle nose plier. This is for the clips we pull out of the fenders and so on. We got the picks, which I use for all sorts of clips and stuff, and the yellow screwdriver.
The next most important drawer is the wrenches.
You don't see any sockets. And there is a particular reason why we don't have any sockets.
In our tool drawer.
Yeah, there you go. That was almost a divorce, okay?
Yes.
Because I wanted the sockets, of course, like every other man in those drawers. And Vera said, no, I don't want to go and open a drawer for getting a socket. We decided to keep our well-proven Ghidorah set, what we use for, I want to say, 70% of the work we do, in this plastic box. And we're going to keep this on a little cart, which is most likely this one. And that's going to carry the most used sockets. No sockets are basically in our big new tool bench.
And we have those sockets then on the spot where we need it. Most important.
Okay.
Saves you at least one divorce per day.
Yeah, well, I wanted this thing, of course, in the drawers, and Vera didn't. So let us know in the comments if you think this was a wise idea. But Vera said she doesn't want to run in to get me an 8mm socket.
I don't close stuff and then I hurt myself and ruin things.
Yeah, she gets hurt a lot. Our 22mm is wasted. You can throw that one actually into the garbage.
Yes. So we go up all the way here to 32, and we have a 36 which you need for your viscous fan.
And the viscous fan tool is?
Over here, and Christian will not remember that.
Oh. Found a spot back here. So that's good. And here's the 36mm because the drawers are not big enough. What is really important to spot is we got here regular spanners, okay? Then we got flat style ratchety wrenches. And you notice that they don't have a bend, so you put them on this way or this way to change the direction. I think they are absolutely unbeatable compared to the ones which pivot around here on the side. They drive me nuts.
Yeah.
So we got everything up to 19, I think, including the 8 and the 10 and 11 and so on. Then we got these offset spanners, I think you call them.
You also need those in an emergency when that stuff just doesn't work.
We need maybe like 2 or 3 sizes and only very rarely. So this is not an often used tool. Impact sockets we saw.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, look at that. We got now a drawer with pliers.
That is a most recent purchase.
We got the channel locks, which we own here now for 30 years. We got 3 different sizes. Here's our long needle nose plier. That comes in very often. The small one, and remember, the tiny one up here. That's all we got. We got the siphon plier, okay? No handbrake repair job on a Discovery 3 without this. This is the plier I use to open and close the clips from the EGR valve pipes. This is the one I use most of the time for coolant hoses down in difficult to reach spots. You know, the coolant hoses on the Discovery 3 have the 2 buttons on the side. Also sometimes the fuel lines. These here, I call them grab my ass pliers. I got 3 of those, and you can use them to pull off hoses in tight corners. But what they also work absolutely great is also hard to reach coolant hoses or fuel hoses. You can see you can grab like the 2-button coolant hoses and the 2-button fuel hoses, open them and pull them off. Use them on the Queen actually to do that. Then we got a couple of vice grips, which we hardly never use here in Germany. This is the genius tool what I bought recently. I know everybody knows that already, but I didn't know that tool exists, and if you want to take an exhaust off the vehicle, I cannot say how much easier it is with this tool. And I didn't know that. Vera told me there is a tool like that.
I was not allowed to buy it when we went to O'Reilly's in Hurricane.
Okay, that's out of context information again, like usual. Just like this tool. This tool is...
It looks like a torture tool.
Yeah, this is actually a tool what you're supposed to use to install the springs on the drum brakes. I never used it, but it had a good review. So I got me this one. I hope it works.
Yes.
That's also one of the most used tools when we work on the Discovery.
Tool.
This is to open the constant tension hose clips. See, when I got a hose clip like this, and I go on with it like this, and check that out. So it opens them, and it even keeps it locked. So you gotta get yourself one of these, like 7 or 8 euros on Amazon.
We actually had it in a set. And they didn't know what it's for. And we still have 4 more pliers, which we don't know what they are for.
Look at that. These are called constant tension hose clamps. At least that's the direct translation. I'm sure there is a more accurate term in English. But what they do is, even if the setup here expands from heat and contracts from heat, it keeps the tension. Many people think that you do something good when you put on these screw-on hose clamps on rubber hoses like this. No, you don't. These will bite into the rubber under certain heat conditions, and then you can tighten them even further, and then when they cool down, they contract again, and it will actually loosen up your rubber connection.
Yeah. Now the third drawer. My torque wrenches and my extensions, just in case you're wondering, check out our last video. So we have Proxone and a G-Dore torque wrench. We go from 6 Newton meters all the way to whatever, 400.
That's called a breaker bar, okay? That's also the largest we need. We never had a bolt which could not be opened with 1/2 inch and this breaker bar. We never needed 3/4 inch. We do not own 3/4. So if you need a 3/4 tool on a Range Rover or on a Land Rover, you're doing something wrong in my opinion. I used this tool when we did your servo pump. It has a really fine click. It's from Harbor Freight.
Yes.
Okay. And it pivots here.
Here's a 36 millimeter.
Yes, you need that for the wheel nuts.
Exactly. You need some 12-point sockets. We have the 15 millimeter, and that is 21 millimeter.
You need that on the front brake caliper mounting bracket and that on the rear caliper mounting bracket.
Exactly. And a
10 millimeter on the connecting rod bolts.
10, 15 and 21 millimeter 12-point sockets.
Yeah, never found any others, okay? That's all there is in Discovery.
Yeah, we opened them all.
Yeah, we opened them all. There's no bolt we haven't had open, okay? Our reducers have this ring on them, so Vera can pull them off with oily fingers or small fingers if they don't have this on. So they look then like this. She can't get them off, okay, when they're stuck on a socket. So these are much nicer. We bought them in the US, I think at O'Reilly's. We have this extra set of joints, okay, universal joints, and you can see they have a springy action.
Yeah,
they are 10 times more useful than the regular ones in this G-Dore kit, okay, because these kind of hang down. And you know my saying, if it's hanging down, it ain't no good in the car and it ain't no good in the bedroom.
Exactly.
Okay? So that's really it, okay? And then we have a lot of extensions and high quality.
That is also a most used tool, especially if you work on your suspension and you need to align.
I also got that in the US 25 years ago. It's extremely good to align suspension stuff when you put it back together.
Yeah, exactly. We use it a lot.
So you can see there is not a lot what we have. Craw feet. Yeah, we need them quite a bit actually. Nice, you did a nice job.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That's already seldom used stuff.
Yeah, exactly, because that G-Dore set
covers it all. Look at that, it's Stahlwill. I got that at least since I'm like 17 years old, okay? You know, these are all socket sets we don't commonly use.
Yes.
Here's even a Volkswagen, okay? You know what the problem with a Volkswagen is?
I don't know.
The problem with a Volkswagen is that it's a Volkswagen.
Yes. Yeah, I have various brake line tools.
Here, this is garbage, what you would use on US vehicles. What you need on the Land Rover is actually this tool here. It's for 3/16 or 4.75 mil. And that flares for the Land Rover brake lines. We have separate videos on that. So that's really all you need. Then
the
repair
bending,
clips.
The bending,
And the bending plier.
Exactly.
Yeah, very well.
See, look at that. That plier also came in that set. I
Yeah,
don't even
anybody
know how it
knows what a plier like this is for? I would appreciate it, okay? Look at that. I mean, there are several different kind of pliers. I don't know what that is for.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also for a clip like this.
Yeah, probably, but
For
maybe
like a
not
bigger
on
one.
Yeah, clip on our car.
But it's flimsy looking.
Yeah. We have our battery tester, temperature gauge. You know, when
Yeah.
here we need that stuff for alignment. When we do an alignment, which we did on my Discovery.
Yeah, that's an alignment tool, and here digital protractor.
It's our endoscope camera.
Which is very, very useful.
Yes.
It's a high quality endoscope camera, which
Yes.
has one of those swivelly thingy ends, okay, what you can dial and look
Exactly.
backward. My camera doesn't have a function to grab something and wiggle it around.
Oh, we should buy one.
Then we have an old endoscope camera. And what we use that for is, for example, to tie it somewhere in the vehicle and then display something on the phone while we
Exactly.
drive. I set up a camera on our transfer case. Look, when I stop. So we can keep an eye on it. This one is actually Bluetooth. It's a current plier, okay? The current plier and voltmeter combination, cheap stuff, but that is all you need to diagnose if your glow plugs are working. And just for fun, we dip it into the gasoline. Now watch,
Really?
so brand new
Oh my
box. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God.
Very good tool, very cheap. Used it a lot, works very well. Okay, this box has one tool in it what you need, and only in combination with a special tool, which is the 13 millimeter, in combination with a self-made tool what we use.
Yeah. Now I need to find it. So the self-made tool is here.
Is here, okay?
So if you have to get out your transfer case, you need
Yes. I made this myself, but you could weld this up real cheap. I can put this on here, and what I can do now is use an extension like this, and now I can reach over the transfer case, behind the transfer case at the bolts, and I can pivot them open like this with my ratchet. Check this out, and it even gives me that clearance. So Land Rover specifies a solid tool, which you gotta back off, turn it, put it back on, that drives you nuts, versus this ratchety one, what I made, separate video on this, in our channel. It's awesome, okay? I can take a transfer case out in probably less than an hour and a half, and it's out, okay?
Yeah.
With Vera. And this goes back in here. Now get used to our new tool.
Yes, the good thing is if you touch everything you have. That was a really enjoyable process.
To store all this.
Sometimes we need extensions for the...
That's actually when we work on a stock cooling fan. We actually get a lot of emails, how do you get the viscous fan out, okay? Using a bad day hammer and knowing its left-hand thread.
Yes.
That's all, there is no secret. That's our wheel alignment tool. There is a separate video on how we did this.
Yes.
We use a small hydraulic jack to sometimes, raise the transmission a little bit or lower it when we are not over the lift. When we are over the lift, we use this thing, which is incredible. This tool, unbelievable. I don't know how much it was, but less than 200 euros. It's hydraulic. It does 500 kg. Not a single repair job we don't use that tool on. Excellent.
Yeah.
So
we actually got that little lift for the clutch on my Freelander.
That's true.
Here is the most important drawer, because before that it was all chunk up here and I couldn't find a single thing. And with Christian, I need to find stuff immediately. There is no patience with that man and me.
Look at this. You know the jobs we did. 160 repair videos. That's all the screwdrivers we use.
Yes.
That's really it. And there are almost no screwdrivers. Check this out. We got one Phillips here and a couple of flat ones and our little yellow one you learned about. That's it. We got these little plastic tools for interior trim, okay? Then I use this one in really difficult situation when I can't get a coolant hose off.
Yeah.
It works great if you're careful with it. We got one file out here, okay? I know we got a full machine shop inside, but out here we got only one file. And then we got these two pieces out of China. The only T-handled Allen wrench I use. I got these two, but I don't use them. It's this one. That's the only one I use. And that's to release the little M5 bolt on the rear brake shoes to get the wedge in, okay? Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
I gotta loosen up this Allen screw. And now listen. Now I gotta wedge this. And I tighten this screw back up.
So you need Q-tips when you adjust your rear brake shoes.
Exactly, yes. Here we got all the locking pins for the timing, okay? This is the engine locking pin. You can download that on our Patreon page. That goes on the side of the engine block of the 2.7 or the 3 liter. And then Vera has all kinds of little plastic plugs, what she collects.
Yeah.
And
like that.
they are absolutely awesome when you work on a car and you can plug off the lines and you don't get dirt into the fuel lines and then the car actually fires back up.
Yeah.
Those wrenches I hate, but sometimes I need them.
For example, when you work on your suspension, especially the rear suspension.
Yeah.
You know, when you have no space.
When you talk about pivoting wrenches, okay? Yes, there are some occasions where I need these, but it's very rare. I would not recommend these. This technology here is pretty stupid if you want a wrench. It keeps coming off the nut. And then also, they are too beefy and bulky back here versus the one in our other drawer, the straight ones from Kmart. They are excellent. So I would not recommend these. They have not really solved so many issues for me. They also too bulky here.
Yeah, but that's what you get in Germany for not a fortune.
Okay, this is our special drawer with special made tools. This is the Chinese timing tool, which we don't use anymore. Okay, here's the piston insertion tool for the 2.7 liter. Yeah, these are all press-in tools for rings. Then we got here the insertion tools for suspension components. Here is something I made to weigh connecting rods on a scale. And then it keeps on going like that. Everybody who watches our videos knows this tool. That's very often asked where to get the drawing. It's on our Patreon page.
In addition, when you have to lock the timing, you need to take the starter motor out and lock the timing on the flywheel. Just putting in pins in the camshaft is not enough.
So this is actually for the automatic transmission, and there's also one for the manual transmission.
Oh, there is?
There it is. That's the one for the manual transmission. And those two tools you can buy in a kit together with the pins for like a few bucks. You know, they are the special tools we made. But we got the drawings for these all on our Patreon page. This is the crankshaft trigger wheel tool we use. There's also a drawing on our Patreon page. We don't use the cheap Chinese one because it has an error of more than a degree and only plus minus 0.3 degrees is allowed by Land Rover.
And we do not manufacture those and we do not sell those, unfortunately.
That's the pump we use to fill up the 8 HP transmission with fluid. Yes. And then we got here a pressure brake bleeder.
Yeah, that is also most important, and I love that I have a designated shelf up here.
That stuff here pretty much replaced in most applications the copper paste.
Yeah. You need rust dissolvent. I have silicone grease, regular grease. I have Metaflux, which we use in an engine rebuild, I think.
Yes, we use that on splines.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Now listen to the technical data of this stuff. Just listen to it. Temperature resistant from minus 180 to 1350 degrees Celsius. Pressure resistant to up to 2400 kilopound per square centimeter. Resistant against water, oil, petrol, and against most acids and alkalics. Will not rub off, wash off, or burn. And here comes the most important thing, highly resistant to galvanic corrosion. That's what we got here. Special alloyed metal colloidal lubricant. And then extremely low coefficient of friction. This is made for splines under extremely high load, what they use in mining equipment. I just made this up.
So if you swallow it, you're gonna die.
Yeah, so that's my President Camacho plan, and that's gonna fix all our problems.
I got a 3-point plan to fix everything.
We have all kinds of Loctite.
Yeah, but only that one here.
They're not stored out here because of the temperature here.
Well, we have to clean up that shelf.
So that's all you got left over from your sorting? That's easy now. Oh, this is an important tool. We're gonna have to have a spot for this. That's my listen to where the noise is coming from when the oil pressure is low tool. Also to check if the EGR valves are working, I use that a lot. These are pullers. All three of those, I would say, go into this drawer here. This gotta go into our vacuum tester thing.
Look at that. Oh.
Now we got everything set up for that engine repair. We got shelves where we can store everything from the vehicle in here. So this is gonna be really good.
I'm gonna fill those shelves tomorrow morning.
I think it deserves the sticker now.
Yes.
And hopefully it's somewhat straight, so we're not getting any desktop mechanic comments. Didn't use a level. A little bit more organizing and we can continue taking the body off on this baby. You know, it's still a cat in the sack until we have that engine out.
Yes.
It looks unbelievable, doesn't it?
Yes.
Now that is quite something. We have now our Gedore tool set right here in the corner where we can basically carry it outside and have a short distance and I don't have to sleep on the couch. And then we got the workbench completely filled. We went through all those drawers. We got our unused old toolbox, which is completely empty. And here, Vera set up now storage space for all the parts we take off the car. We also got this closet, which replaced that wood closet from before. So we're gonna get rid of this cabinet because it's not very practical, okay? It takes a lot of room. It's much smaller and it's extremely poor quality, but it does suit from the size what we need it to do. We got all the tool sets and stuff. We got Vera's bolt kit, spray cans, and miscellaneous crap, okay?
That wall here is set up for our needs. Most importantly, my needs. Your needs may be different. Don't tell me I need to put that and that and that up there.
Everybody knows that these hooks fall off when you lift stuff off, okay? I put a little bolt in each one, so it's not that annoying then, okay? They mount it down nice. So, and our engine stand is in, our transmission stand, everything what we need to rebuild that car is now in this workshop. Now, before we end this video, I want to talk about the maintenance manual we use for the Discovery 4, okay? Because I know there will be tons of questions about, can you send us the manual? Can you send us the link? No, we can't. These manuals are available in the internet if you look for them. I cannot place a link in our video or on our Patreon page about this manual because it would violate copyright rights all over the planet. So there's absolutely no chance. Discovery 4 SDV6 SCV6 Workshop Manual from MY 2013 to 2015. And in this manual, there is a body off procedure described over the last page from the menu. And then I go here, body TDV6 diesel. Now here is the full frame and body mounting procedure. And it starts with the very first bolt down to the last bolt. If you follow this instruction step by step, you will not snap anything off. You will not miss anything. Now, if you skip a step because you don't understand it or you don't know where it is, and you raise that body off, you hear like a distinct snap. One more time.
You sure?
Yes. That didn't sound good. Oh. And that usually is equivalent with several hundred of euros and a wait time to get those components. Search for Workshop Manual Discovery 4. Your best source to come to that manual is the disco3.co.uk site. They typically even have a link if you're lucky, but sometimes even their links do not work anymore because it's unfortunately a copyright thing. So with this manual, and a workshop prepared like this, and a little lift outside like we got, and a pit, you are 100% prepared. But there's one more thing you need, that is a woman like this who assists you in all that work you gotta do. And she collects all the bolts, she puts them in bags, she keeps me entertained, and she films all this for you guys. And she answers all those questions we get by email and Patreon and comments, which end with the wording, "but the car does not start." I actually think that's all I want to say in this video. At this point, I want to thank our Patreons, and I also want to ask you guys to subscribe to our channel if you have not already subscribed. We usually don't do that, but also we need subscribers, and our community is growing only very slowly. So hopefully you liked this video, and
We'll see you next Sunday.
And next Sunday, it's gonna be the first hardcore video on lifting the body of this Discovery. And by the end of the next video, this body will be off.
We can't promise anything. God knows what happens on Saturday, you know.
We only got like 1 week of lead time right now. You can see it's already spring here. Again, we'll see you next Sunday. I'm aging here.
All right.
Here we'll go to our castle first. On such a nice day. It's like a Jerry, Arizona video, just in Germany instead of Utah. Look how beautiful our valley is.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Probably the first nice day since we have the Queen. It came with English weather for half a year, non-stop. Look at that. There's the castle. Our castle is built in 1604. There's my grandpa on here and his brother. Both fell in the Second World War.
Look at that.
That's our village here. The defense tower was built in the 15th century.
Oh, that wall came down during one winter with lots of heavy rain.
So here's the castle's courtyard. And our fire truck cannot be bigger than this gate, otherwise he can't drive up here. And the entire roof construction is made out of wood, out of the 16th century. So you can see there is no window in this side of the castle. So where we stand here was the previous castle, and it was extended, which was more like a defense castle. And that was built in the 13th century. So 300 years later, they constructed this castle. They renovated this building completely with new original shale hand-cut shingles, okay? Hopefully they're not from China.
The Queen barely fits.
The Queen has its trouble to get through here, okay? You have to fold the mirrors in.
Yeah.
And then it's still very scary.
Oh my God.
This is always a really tight fit. I'm gonna have to fold the mirrors in.
Oh, we're gonna get scratches all over our... Oh my God.
This is so
Oh my
fucking
God.
tight. But the Discovery fits through easily.
That just shows how much bigger the Queen